Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Stories 101. I'm Sid, your host. Today we have a very emotional story to share with you. It's about a mother's love, a son's regret, and a letter that changed everything. Our guest today is David Miller. David has a story that will touch your heart and make you think about the people you love. David, thank you for being here. Please share your story with us.
Thank you, Sid. My name is David Miller, and I am 35 years old. I want to tell you about my mother, Helen. This is not an easy story to tell, but I think it's important. I grew up in a small town called Greenfield. My mother raised me alone. My father left us when I was only 3 years old. I don't remember much about him. It was always just my mother and me. My mother worked very hard. She had 2 jobs. During the day, she worked at a bakery. At night, she cleaned offices. She worked almost every single day just to pay our rent and buy food. She was always tired, but she never complained. When I was young, I loved my mother very much. She would come home late at night, but she always checked on me. She would kiss my forehead and say, "Sleep well, my sweet boy. I love you." Those words made me feel safe and loved. But as I grew older, things changed. When I became a teenager, I started feeling embarrassed about my mother. My friends had parents with good jobs and nice cars. Their houses were big and beautiful. We lived in a small apartment. My mother wore old clothes and worked jobs that I thought were not important. I remember one day at school. I was 15 years old. My mother came to pick me up because it was raining heavily. She was wearing her old coat and her shoes had holes in them. My friends saw her and one of them laughed. I felt so embarrassed. I was angry at her for looking poor. When we got home, I shouted at her. I said, "Why did you come to school? Why do you always embarrass me? Can't you dress better?" My mother looked shocked. Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't say anything. She just turned away and went to her room. I didn't apologize. I thought I was right to be angry. As the years passed, I became more distant from my mother. I stopped talking to her much. I focused on my studies because I wanted to be successful. I wanted to have money and a good life. I didn't want to be poor like my mother. When I turned 18, I got a scholarship to study at a university in a big city far away. I was so happy. Finally, I could leave our small apartment and start a new life. My mother was happy for me too. She hugged me and said, "I'm so proud of you, David. You are going to do amazing things." I left home and rarely came back. I was too busy with my classes, my new friends, and my new life. My mother would call me every week, but I kept the conversations short. She would ask, "How are you? Are you eating well? Do you need money?" I would say, "I'm fine, Mom. I have to go. I'm busy." Sometimes she would sound sad on the phone, but I didn't pay attention. I was focused on my future, not on her feelings. After university, I got a good job at a big company. I moved into a nice apartment. I bought expensive clothes and a car. I felt successful. I felt like I had finally escaped my poor childhood. But I still didn't visit my mother often. Maybe once or twice a year. And each visit was short. I would stay for a few hours, eat a meal, and then leave. My mother never complained. She would smile and say, "I'm just happy to see you, David. I miss you so much." But I didn't really listen to her words. I was always thinking about getting back to my own life. Then one day, I received a phone call from my mother's neighbor, Mrs. Patterson. She said, "David, you need to come home right now. Your mother is in the hospital. She's very sick." I felt shocked. I asked, "What happened? Is she okay?" Mrs. Patterson said, "The doctors say it's serious. Please come as soon as you can." I took the next train to Greenfield. During the entire journey, I felt scared. I realized I hadn't really talked to my mother in months. I had been too busy with work and my own life. When I arrived at the hospital, I went to my mother's room. She looked so small and weak in the hospital bed. Her face was pale and she had tubes connected to her arms. When she saw me, she smiled weakly and said, "David, you came." I sat beside her bed and held her hand. "Mom, what happened? Why didn't you tell me you were sick?" She smiled softly and said, "I didn't want to worry you. You have your own life. You're busy. I'm proud of everything you've achieved." The doctor came and spoke to me outside the room. He said, "Your mother has advanced cancer. She's been sick for over a year, but she refused treatment for a long time because she wanted to save money. By the time she finally came to the hospital, it was too late. I'm very sorry, but she only has a few weeks left." I felt like someone had punched me in the chest. I couldn't breathe. I asked, "A year? She's been sick for a year and she didn't tell me?" The doctor said gently, "She didn't want to be a burden to you." I went back to my mother's room and sat with her. I wanted to say so many things, but the words wouldn't come out. I felt guilty. I felt ashamed. All those years I had ignored her. All those phone calls I had cut short. All those visits I had avoided. And she had been suffering alone. Over the next few days, I stayed at the hospital. I slept in a chair beside my mother's bed. I held her hand and talked to her about everything. I apologized for being a bad son. I told her how much I loved her. She just smiled and said, "You were never a bad son, David. You made me proud every single day." 2 weeks later, my mother passed away. I was holding her hand when she took her last breath. I cried more than I had ever cried in my life. I felt empty inside. After the funeral, I had to clear out my mother's small apartment. It was painful to go through her things. Everything reminded me of her. Her old coat. Her worn-out shoes. The pictures of me that she had kept on the walls. Then I found something on her bedside table. It was a letter. The envelope had my name written on it in my mother's handwriting. My hands were shaking as I opened it. The letter said, "My dearest David. If you are reading this, it means I am no longer with you. I want you to know that I am not sad. I am at peace. I have lived a good life because I had you. I know that in recent years, we grew apart. I know you were busy with your education and your career. I want you to know that I was never angry with you. I was always proud of you. Watching you succeed made every sacrifice worth it. I worked 2 jobs not because I had to, but because I wanted to give you opportunities. I wanted you to have a better life than I did. Every time you achieved something, my heart filled with joy. I never told you this, but I have been sick for a long time. I chose not to tell you because I didn't want to disturb your happiness. You worked so hard to build your life. I didn't want to be a burden. I want to tell you some important things before I go. First, never feel guilty about living your life. You did nothing wrong. You followed your dreams, and that made me happy. Second, remember that success is not just about money or status. True success is about being kind, helping others, and staying close to the people who love you. Third, time is precious. Don't waste it on things that don't matter. Spend it with people who care about you. Fourth, forgive yourself. I forgive you for everything. There is nothing to forgive. You have always been a wonderful son. And finally, live your life fully. Be happy. Find love. Have a family. And when you have children of your own, remember how much your mother loved you. Give them that same love. I will always be with you, David. In your heart. In your memories. In everything good that you do. I am so proud of you. I love you more than words can say. Always, Mom. I read the letter over and over again. Tears streamed down my face. I felt my mother's love in every word. She had forgiven me even though I didn't deserve it. She had loved me unconditionally even when I pushed her away. That letter changed my life. I realized how much time I had wasted. I realized that I had taken my mother for granted. I had thought I would always have more time with her, but I was wrong. Now, many years have passed. I keep my mother's letter with me always. I read it whenever I feel lost or sad. It reminds me of what really matters in life. I changed the way I live. I stopped working all the time. I started spending more time with people I care about. I volunteer at a shelter for elderly people who have no family. I want to give them the love and attention I should have given my mother. I also started a foundation in my mother's name. It helps children from poor families get education. I want to honor my mother's sacrifices by helping others the way she helped me. I wish I could go back in time. I wish I could hug my mother one more time and tell her how much she meant to me. But I can't. All I can do now is live the way she wanted me to live. With kindness. With love. With gratitude. My mother taught me the most important lesson of all. Love is not something you can buy. Love is not about expensive gifts or grand gestures. Love is about time. Love is about being present. Love is about saying, I love you, while you still can. Don't make the same mistake I made. If your parents are still alive, call them today. Visit them. Hug them. Tell them you love them. Because one day, they will be gone, and you will wish you had more time. I miss my mother every single day. But I am grateful for her letter. It was her final gift to me. A gift of forgiveness, wisdom, and unconditional love. A mother's last letter.
Thank you, David, for sharing such a deeply personal and emotional story. I think many of us are feeling moved right now. Dear viewers, David's story teaches us some crucial lessons that we all need to remember. First, never take your loved ones for granted. We often think we have all the time in the world, but we don't. Life is unpredictable. Tell the people you love that you love them. Do it today, not tomorrow. Second, success means nothing if you lose the people who matter most. David achieved everything he wanted in his career, but he lost precious time with his mother. Material success is important, but relationships are more important. And third, forgiveness is powerful. David's mother forgave him completely. She never held grudges. She loved him unconditionally until her last breath. That is the true meaning of a mother's love. So here is my question for you. When was the last time you told your mother or father that you loved them? When was the last time you spent quality time with them? Think about it, and then do something about it. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to English Stories _101 for more meaningful stories every week. Remember, don't wait until it's too late. Show your love to the people who matter while you still can. thank you for watching. I'm Sid, and I'll see you in the next story. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.